Ridge visiting Campbell tonight, a key region matchup. Jim Freeman along with the head coach of the Cougars, Coach Justin Price. And Coach, back in the day, we would chant Oak Ridge when we did sprints the week we played Oak Ridge. Anything special for the Cougars getting ready for tonight's game?
No, nothing like that. But obviously, it's a big game for us, and we know that. And just a lot of playoff implications. It's senior night. You're playing Oak Ridge, so it's going to be a special night up here.
Well, I think there are a couple of scenarios that could play out tonight. One, Cougars winning. Two, Carnes losing. Those combinations could help you move up in the standings heading into the postseason. But I know that's not really on your mind right now. You're focusing totally on Oak Ridge.
Yeah, and it's Oak Ridge, and they're a really talented football team. They're well coached. They have a new coach this season, so you can tell. Usually when you have new coaches, sometimes it takes a few weeks into the season before everybody's on the same page and understanding what the expectations are. And and they had a tough schedule. I mean, if you look at their overall record, you'd kind of think what's going on. But when you look at who they've played and who they've been beaten by, you kind of understand it. But so we know we definitely are going to be challenged.
Your team appears to be, at least to me, peaking, maybe more so offensively at this stage of the season. Are you seeing it that way? Yeah,
no doubt. And I think a lot of that's having, Hensley just continue to play at just, the level he's playing at has been phenomenal. And, being a sophomore quarterback, really outside the first game, he's not really played like a sophomore, and a lot of that's attributed to how well our receivers are playing. Our receivers, each one of them they all complement each other so well. They each have a strength that we can take advantage of, and then Hensley just continues to get more comfortable with them, and you're able to see that last Friday, and then obviously the offensive line's blocking well, and so I feel like offensively we're playing with a lot of confidence, and I think that's important. You want to play like that all the time, but especially this time of year. And defensively, at times we've not played well. I think statistically, when you look at us, it's not been good many times. But when you go back and you look at the season for us, the key stops that our defense has been huge. And in the end, it's all about having one more point than the other team on the scoreboard. And when you think back to some of the stops that we've made in the fourth quarter, the defense a lot of times have been the one. Has been the side of the football that's kind of secured the win for us.
37 touchdown passes this season for Landon Hensley. We talked, I guess, maybe week 1 or week 2 about the improvement of the offensive line. That probably's been one of the keys, obviously, the way that line has improved. But what can you say about 37 touchdown passes through 9 games, 14 in 2 games?
Yeah, Landon's he's a phenomenal player. He comes every day to get better, and you can kind of see that he learns from his mistakes so well. He's one that he handles adversity well, and he grows from it. But I think sometimes that's even harder is how do you handle success? And you've seen Landon the way he's handled just the success that he's had. It's been awesome just to see even the way he comes on Monday. He's still eager to get better, and he'll talk about different plays and talk about different throws at practice or whatever it is. Just always trying to find what can I do to be more consistent. What can I do to be better? And and he knows that he's only as good as the people around him at the quarterback. Now, the quarterback gets a lot of the publicity and a lot of the praise, but can also get a lot of the blame. And he's handled it both well. And it's just been fun to watch the connection between him and the receivers this season.
What about his leadership skills? Obviously his talent on the field, but I think those leadership skills are maybe coming to the forefront as well. And he's only a sophomore.
Yeah, he's got the quiet confidence about him, and I think that's what you don't hear him say a whole lot. If we score a touchdown or if he throws an interception, a lot of times if you look at his body language, you can't really tell which one just happened. And but I think it's important when you are kind of the natural leader of really not just the team, the program. When you're the starting quarterback, it carries that type of weight. And, I think his demeanor, his body language is what is so, what people gravitate towards. And the reason I think he's just naturally a natural leader for our team.
Oak Ridge tonight brings certainly a good amount of team speed. How do you compare the team speeds between your team and Oak Ridge?
Obviously, their running backs are very talented, and then they have a couple of receivers that are very talented, and so it's what you have to do when you have speed, it's just all about technique, being where you're supposed to, especially on the defensive side of the ball. And so we'll make sure that we try to put our players in position where they can have leverage and force people to, either forcing it back in or force it to the sideline, whenever it is you have to do. So it's definitely going to be a challenge, but it'll be one that I think that we're going to be ready for.
What will your defense, again, talking about being in position, that's a key certainly for your defense, but what else where your defense is concerned it will be facing tonight?
Well, Oak Ridge has a little bit of option element to their offense. So, that's one thing. It's just assignment football. You got to have a quarterback player, got to have a pitch player, and so I think that's going to be important that we're sticking to those assignments when it comes to option football. At the same time, their quarterback doesn't run a bunch, so that kind of helps you a little bit. But at the same time, with it being an option style of offense, that he has the ability to run. So it's it's going to be a challenge to play disciplined football and then maintain leverage and then coming to balance on tackles. And I think that's going to be key. And I think defensively, one thing that we need to try to do is create negative plays for Oak Ridge. Force them into some throwing situations or some 3rd and longs and 2nd and longs and try to force them to do some things they don't want to do. And and I think you can do that by creating negative plays.
Scoring more points than Oak Ridge. You've put up a lot of points this season. You've just basically outscored a lot of people. Is that going to be the case you think you can do tonight?
Well, I think offensively we need to continue to attack and stretch the ball, vertically and horizontally as much as we can, and because that's the strength. That's kind of what we've become. It's our identity, and we've got receivers that can do all those things, and a quarterback that can throw it, and lines that protect. And so we're going to continue to capitalize on our strengths offensively and whatever that is. And a lot of times it depends what look are you getting. If it's one look that gives us the short passes, we're pretty good at that. If they're trying to take away those, we've become really good at throwing the ball down the field. So, I think the key for us is just that execution level being very high. Obviously completions are so important in our offense and seems so simple, but that's just the reality of it. And so, Landon's accuracy is going to be, that's what's allowed us to do a lot of that. So obviously we just continue to capitalize on his strengths and our receiver strengths, and obviously if we get a lot box, be able to run the ball. And we didn't call many runs against Sevier County, but we just felt comfortable all night with the looks we were getting in the passing game. So if we get a look this week where we need to run the football, making sure we capitalize on that too.
You took 48 points to win last week, 52 against Clinton. Would you want to venture a guess on what it might take tonight?
Hey, just one more than they have.
There you go. Great answer. Yeah. Coach, we wish you well. Have fun tonight, and we'll see you after the game.
Thanks, Jim. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Head coach Justin Price and his Cougars set the take on the Oak Ridge Wildcats here in just moments on the WLAF Dulles Tire Shop Sports Network.